2001. John Howard is the Liberal Prime Minister of Australia. Peter Beattie is the Labor Premier of Queensland. Jim Sawley is the Labor Lord Mayor of Brisbane. A couple of planes flew into the World Trade Center. Oh, hang on, sorry. Australian crash reporting standards. The World Trade Center had a collision with a couple of planes. The Brisbane Lions won their first premiership. The Lord of the Rings hit our cinemas to convince us that Tolkien wasn't just for fantasy book nerds.
You shall not pass!
And Sylvan Road had its first painted bike lanes. Here we are, 25 years later, 2026. We have Anthony Albanese, the Labor Prime Minister, David Crisafulli, a Liberal Premier, and Adrian Schrinner, the Liberal Lord Mayor. Pretty much the Sylvan Road bike lanes are still the same, but that's about to change.
So a bit of context for those who aren't from this part of Brisbane. Sylvan Road and Land Street form a 1.5 kilometre section of the primary cycling route from Wacol in Brisbane's southwest suburbs, about 19 kilometres to Brisbane's CBD. It's the only remaining section that does not have separated cycling infrastructure. On the eastern end of it is the magnificent Bicentennial Bikeway, and at the western end, the less spectacular but incredibly functional and effective and popular Western Freeway Bikeway. According to Brisbane City Council, Sylvan Road carries over 1,000 cyclist trips per day, and many of those are work commuting trips. But on weekends, there are also constant streams of bikes with people of all ages. While the painted bike lanes were installed in 2001, not much has changed the environment since, although Council did set up part-time parking restrictions to make the commute periods a bit safer, though compliance is mixed. And as you can see, when there is parking in place, it's not a comfortable environment. And this discomfort has led to crashes. According to Brisbane City Council, there's been 46 cyclist crashes along Sylvan Road in the past decade, and the record back to 2001 looks even worse, with 30 cyclists hospitalised in that time. It's clear something had to be done, so what's the plan? Well, Council has proposed two concepts for people to consider. Option 1 is a continuous bidirectional bikeway from Milton Road to Land Street, starting on the southern side from Milton Road before switching sides around Kate Street, and then continuing along past the Rugby Club to join the existing shared path onto the Bicentennial Bikeway. Option 2 is a part unidirectional and part bidirectional bikeway. From Milton Road to Croydon Street, it will be a single direction protected bike lane in each direction, and then join to a bidirectional bikeway from Croydon Street past the Rugby Club to the existing shared path. In both solutions, most car traffic on Sylvan Road will be diverted down Croydon Street. The western half of Sylvan Road reduced to 40 km/h speed limit, and the bidirectional option retains some of the on-street parking that makes Sylvan Road one-way from Milton Road to Croydon Street. The unidirectional option retains two-way vehicle movement but eliminates all street parking. Clear? Let me show you some of it on the ground.
The two plans will converge at this point here. So the bidirectional bikeway will join up with the shared path that's there behind me. For the unidirectional, single directional bikeway, you will, if you're going inbound, you cross here at this island, which will become a raised priority crossing, and then continue on the other side of the road. Now, that's good. I do have some concerns because what happens here is you've got a lot of traffic that's trying to get across quickly from Milton Road into Sylvan Road, and you can see that already people are pretty bad at recognising that they're supposed to give way to pedestrians crossing that side street. So I do worry a little bit that if they go with this option, traffic coming around here is going to be coming around too fast to then recognise that they're going to have to slow down to go over a raised crossing here. You can see that people use different ways of getting across here as it is now, even though the intended design is to cross there, but you can see what happens. People block up that crossing point. So, you know, it's not ideal as it is now. We'll just have to see how that all works out. But for this particular spot, I think my preference would actually be the bidirectional option. I don't really fancy crossing here as that guy just did. I've had to do it for years, but it's not a lot of fun. Even with a priority crossing, I just worry it's not going to be ideal. that's just my opinion. What do you think? Now, if you do want to stop in at the corner store cafe on your way to work in the morning, well, under the single directional bikeway plan, there'll be a bike path right on this side. But under the bidirectional plan, it'll be over there. So you're gonna have to work out how to cross the road. But this is gonna be one way and 40 kilometers an hour, so it shouldn't be much of an issue to cross. And we all know how much cyclists drink coffee and eat pastries. One thing in the bidirectional method is that there'll still be some car parking along here for the corner store cafe here. In the single direction bike lanes, there will be no on-street parking on Sylvan Road at all. There's still tons down the side streets. So in the bidirectional plan, the two-way bikeway will continue down that side of Sylvan Road until around here, which is the Kate Street crossing. So what the current plan is to make this light crossing here handle bikes and pedestrians. So I've got a couple of thoughts about that. I don't really want anyone to have to press a button to get priority to cross, particularly during peak commute times when there'll be a lot of bikes. But also understand that this is a crossing point between two parts of the school, so a traffic light is needed. I mean, I prefer just to see a raised crossing. It's working well at Bridge Street at North Brisbane, but again, because there's a school crossing involved, the risk tolerance is probably a bit lower. So if they're going to have a traffic light crossing like this, what I'd like to see is look at what they've done in the Netherlands in a couple of places where they've got a light like this, but it's green by default for bikes and pedestrians, and it gets triggered to change for cars on approach.
So this is a really interesting little intersection that they've put in on the TU Delft campus. They've actually had to add a traffic light because of the number of cyclists that are traveling through this particular cycle path. The light will stay green for the cyclists all the time and for pedestrians crossing the street. If a car wants to cross the cycle track or the footpath, they actually need to trigger a sensor in the street which will turn the light red for cyclists and turn the light green for cars.
So in this mode as well, Sylvan Road here becomes one way, so it'll be 40 kilometers an hour and only traveling east. So there's less traffic flow, so there'll be less issue with doing that. So hopefully that's a tweak they can make. But you know, even if worst case scenario they put in a button controlled crossing, as long as it's very sensitive to pedestrians and cyclists crossing, I think that'll be okay.
Because the risk is, if you don't make lights responsive, then you encourage people to be non-compliant. Naughty, naughty.
So this is where things sort of diverge. So the bidirectional bikeway will cross opposite me there, so that's the end of the rugby club. And then if it's in the unidirectional mode, it will then immediately cross with a crossing onto that side, and the single directional bike lane will travel along Sylvan Road that way. I hope my hand was in the pointing thing. Anyway, that way. So this will become a two-step crossing, but I'm told that it'll be a single phase. So if you're coming outbound and you get a green to get across, you also get a green to get across towards the other lane that way. Or in both scenarios, actually, this slip lane goes. So that's another win. The slip lanes are double spawn. Or in the bidirectional mode, Sylvan Road will be one lane, only eastbound. In the single lane scenario, Sylvan Road here will still be two-way traffic. It will still be 40 kilometers an hour. So, I mean, you can see there's still quite a bit of car traffic that uses this road. So what's the plan there? Well, the plan is actually to shift the priority of traffic so that traffic coming from Sylvan Road will be primarily directed down Croydon Street towards Milton Road that way, rather than currently as it goes through Sylvan Road to join at Milton Road. So I think that's a better solution for the traffic, and it should not impact traffic flow or travel time too much. You can see here that the current situation is not great. There's no parking restrictions, so lights are changed, off they go. Traffic's turning everywhere. Most of the time it works safe, but when it doesn't, it's pretty nasty. Hi! Hi! Someone knows me. So I don't want to go over the other side to film this. It's going to be noisy though. So the bidirectional bikeway will be on the rugby club side of the road behind me there. So all this street parking will be replaced with the bikeway. Will be physically separated. So one of the real issues with riding along here in the morning is that with cars parked here, bikes in big numbers in that bike lane, there's high risk of dooring. So that's going to be completely eliminated. This is probably the highest risk location for dooring on the bikeway.
You shall not pass!
So that's a really positive thing. So being squeezed in behind parked cars and moving cars, it's not pleasant. So this bikeway will eliminate that problem completely. Sweet. And so one thing that will definitely go, this slip lane. So the bidirectional bikeway will go around this corner, unimpeded, all the way through to Land Street and Patrick Lane up there, which are connected in existing shared path. So this slip lane is quite hairy, particularly in peak times. Drivers come through quite quickly. The safest way actually to use it is to ignore the bike lane that's painted in it and actually just ride down the middle of the lane. So removing this and having it as a separated bidirectional bikeway, that's a big win. And so on side streets like this, well, the bidirectional bikeway will deviate out towards the side street here, cross further away from the road, and then weave back. So some people might ask why that is, but it's a sign that council's learning. Now, let me just see if this works. Here I am at Wollongabba, and behind me, or all around me at the moment, is the Gabba Bikeway. So this was built by Brisbane City Council in 2019. It was the result, tragically, of the death of Rebecca Mayer, who was struck on the corner of Stanley Street and Annerley Road in 2014. So it took 5 years between that, coronial inquest, recommendations, and a bikeway. But while this has been pretty good, it's actually still had some crashes since the bikeway was built. And there's been some learnings here that Brisbane City Council has taken on to Sylvan Road. So if you look behind me here, this is Merton Street, or Merton Road. And you see the bikeway is basically flush with the road. So it's only a left turn in here. You see this driver turning in here. So they've got nowhere to wait. So they have to turn, we've got traffic coming behind them, and they turn straight across the bikeway and the footpath. They've got nowhere to pause, so they've got to make the decision when to cross. There's potentially bikes coming from behind them, as well as in front. This creates conflict risk. What council has done to learn from this is, well, taking some learnings from what they've done on the North Brisbane bikeway, but what they've done is they've put in the design for Sylvan Road, on side streets, the bikeway sort of cuts away from the main road. So what that means is that there's a spot for motorists to cross the bikeway, then wait, then get onto the road, or vice versa, coming off the road, wait, look for the bikeway and get across without holding up traffic. So much better design that reduces conflict and conflict risk, and so I think it'll be a much better outcome. Now, not everyone likes what they've done at the North Brisbane bikeway. Some cyclists don't like the fact that you've got to go out and in, but it does slow everyone down. It makes sure that you've got good visibility of cars have got good visibility of you, and it reduces crashes. And the proof is in the pudding. Let's go to the map.
So this is a map of every bicycle crash along the Gabba Bikeway, Annerley Road, before and after the bikeway was built. And by comparison, let's scroll all the way north. This is the North Brisbane Bikeway. Now, what happens when we look at what happened after the bikeway was put in? So let's eliminate all the crashes before. So you can see that basically the only ones left for the North Brisbane Bikeway happened here, which are actually on driveways. But every other intersection where those priority crossings were, there's been no crashes. We compare that to the Gabba Bikeway, and we can still see there's quite a few crashes at Merton Road, where I was filming, and Reed Street. So the conflict is still occurring at a lot of these intersections. So the North Brisbane Bikeway, with that design, with the cutaways, actually has eliminated crashes at the intersections.
So it's good to see that council's actually taking the lessons that it's learnt from bikeways that it could have done better, and it's proposing to do something much improved here at Sylvan Road. Let's see how it all comes together.
Now, one thing to note is that the crossings at Dean Street and Miskin Street are out of scope for this project, and they are still a point of contention, and you can see here I really stuffed up crossing here. Whew, what a bit of a mess. Anyway, hopefully that'll be dealt with in a future project. So consultation is still open for these concept designs until midnight Sunday, which is when this video is going out, so you have less than a day to get it in. I'll put a link in the description of where to go to do that, so please get in there if you live in the area. Show your support for this project because it's really, really important. Once the preferred concept is selected, they'll go away and complete the detailed design, and construction is expected to start on this project early 2027, and it will take over a year, so don't expect that this is just going to suddenly magically appear. But there is funding committed from the federal government, and we're looking forward to seeing what the budget is in the next council budget, which is coming out next week. So we're all excited for this project, really keen to see it happen. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit like. If you really liked it, there's a super thanks button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Don't be a stranger. Until next time, ride safely, drive rarely, and hopefully this will be a protected bikeway soon.